We're pleased this evening to have our inspiration in the pledge by our District 1 board member, Mr. Stan Jester.
So, as you probably know, the Commissioner and I are extremely passionate about our public servants. The teachers and police officers in our district are the tip of the spear for education and public safety. And behind me is Officer Tim Brown, who is from Maryland, but came to Georgia in 2007, where he attended Georgia Tech. However, in 2014, he decided to apply for the DeKalb County Police Department, and upon graduating the academy with 101st class, known as the Sheepdogs, Officer Brown was assigned to the Tucker Precinct, where he currently patrols as a uniformed officer. His love for God, family, and music are about the only things that top his love to help and serve people. One of his favorite quotes he learned from his father is, "Your attitude determines your altitude." So Officer Brown is going to give us the inspiration and lead us in the pledge. Thanks, Officer Brown. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, board members and guests of tonight. As Mr. Stan mentioned, my personal testimony, coming from Georgia Tech, this was something that was told for me to do. They said, you need to do this, you need to be an engineer, because that's where the money was. That's where the fame was. That's where the recognition was. It didn't matter about your passion. This is what was supposed to be done. And that was put in front of me. And that was, you played by the rules. That's what your parents say. That's what your people say. That's what you do. But I remember sitting there and wondering, what is my real passion? And if I were to ask everyone here to raise their hand and find out who had a passion growing up, who had something that was inside of them that was burning and deep, that they woke up and said, man, I really wish I would love to do this. Or even if they did it, they were like, man, I really have an enjoyment to do this. Now, those of them that would have had their hands up, I asked, how many people are doing something in that field? Unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of those hands will go down. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Well, it depends on how you look at it. If your hand went down, that's fine. I'm not telling you to quit your job and do something else. What I am saying is, within that field, why not do something that is connected to your passion? For instance, myself, I took the radical route. I was a Georgia Tech person. I had all the degrees, and I said, you know what? This isn't my passion. I want to do something to help people. And I had a quote that my dad used to always tell me. Days should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom. But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth, that understanding should be given to him. Great men are not always wise, neither do aged men understand judgment. And it took me a while to really understand what that meant. And pretty much what that's stating is, you people up there, the distinct, the people that have made it, they should be an inspiration to us. And as well, the flip side, we should be an inspiration to you. That as you go about, you should look at us and be understanding, well, what is my true passion that I should be making alive even as I go forward? I may have made it to one place, but what am I doing to look back? And we as us, trying to get to where you are, should have the same thing. We should be able to see you and understand, man, that is something that I want to be about. That is a vision that you have that I want to attack. And we should not allow that vision to therefore be diminished or pushed aside by this is what the program says or this is what the stats say. No. With your passion inside, that's what you should go about. And I'll leave one more thing with you before I leave. The definition of inspiration, process of being mentally stimulated as you do or feel something, especially creative. The drawing of breath, a force or influence that inspires someone. This is something that we should all have. And I ask you today, what is your true passion? What is something that is driving you? Have you found it? If you have, what are you doing with it? If you haven't, why haven't you? Take this time now. This is day one. Find that passion within you. Do something about it. Don't let it die. With every breath, with everything you do, allow it to drive you even the more. Because once you leave, it is your passion that will be left behind you. That is a legacy. It's not about what you do as far as the money that you gain, but it's about your influence. Now, if I get everyone stand. And as we do the Pledge of Allegiance, I would like to ask everyone to close their eyes and really think about what they're saying as we begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Officer Brown, and certainly Mr. Jester, thank you very much for this great inspiration, and certainly we respect Mr. Brown's passion, and as a board member, we're very passionate as well to educate all of our boys and girls, and thank you so much for participating.